make sure that actually you learn from your past mistakes, which is going to be quite very vital and a very important key and tool when it comes to you seeing something, of course, different with your business or any other related life. But of course, quite lots of discussions are going to be coming up on the show today. Of course, it's quite very packed, very interesting aspects. We shall be having, of course, insights into the state of security in the country, taking a look at the parish development model, and so many other related concepts which are going to be quite very vital for you to understand. Like we always say, this is your daily Kickstarter for the day, where you get this information, and it's very key and crucial when it comes to decision making and implementation, most especially on the side of the entrepreneur. That is something very very important for you there to really consider. Well, before we get into any discussions, don't forget Zabu, a platform from Altex which just made your trading experience a reality. Now what you have to do here is to dial *292#, and you'll be availed with quite lots of options. Here you can buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ghanaian shillings. Well, the markets open at exactly 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:15 p.m. Effective Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays when you can access these markets. But at least you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make yourself quite some good profits for you. Something which I believe is very insightful and very vital for you to earn a side income. Zabu has made this a reality. Any part of the country you are in position to actually trade. So Zabu simply says, my money, my future. And Altex East Africa comes out and says, do something new. Well, this very time, let's get into our morning call as we take a look at what is really transpiring out there. And of course, this time around, shall be looking at the key factors for low production progress. And of course, we see that there is the aspect of limited oversight role in political leadership. Of course, leadership being one of the key roles for business to function, because it's one of those functions that organize other business-related functions to ensure that actually the business can operate like how it ought to operate. Let's get into this real quick.
PDM program, a program that everyone thought perhaps would revamp the economy of the country and uplift the living conditions of people in their respective areas. It's unfortunate that it's not working out. For 2 solid years, no single penny has reached the accounts of our constituents, particularly in Kampala. And it's unfortunate that people have been kept waiting for money and absolutely doing nothing, because they were promised a lot of money under the PDM. It's unfortunate that up to now, nothing has gone on the account, and the majority of them are even have lost even the little capital that they had, because they thought perhaps that they would get, they would capitalize their businesses and push on. Nothing has come on the account. The first 17 million per parish was not received in the year of 2021. Recently, this entire year, no single penny has reached the account of our people, not even the division. And we do believe that perhaps this money was expended elsewhere, because we have absolutely gotten nothing. The parish model has 7 pillars, and the only pillar that is being implemented, despite the fact that it has not had a trickle-down effect, is the financial inclusion. But there are other foundation pillars, like mindset change. You cannot give the person money who has not changed his mindset. Majority of the people do believe that this is political money, and money given to them by the president, and they're just going to eat it like it was for the YLP and UEP. Over 94 billion was expended on the youths, but only government money to recover 36%. It's unfortunate. And it's not different from the parish model. UEP, under UEP, women received 66 billion, but only managed to pay back 23%. The rest ran away, and government put pressure that it was going to arrest them. So they ran away, and up to now they are nowhere to be seen. They even left their businesses. So this kind of money may become a curse. And that's the reason that we request government to deal with the infrastructure development that will support the people at every level. Because if you have, for example, markets, these people will be able to go and sell their goods in markets. But now, for example, here in Kampala, we have no markets for our people to operate in. And majority of our people that are supposed to benefit work on the streets of Kampala. And as you are aware, KCCA comes and evicts them, confiscates their goods, and they go back to zero. So of what use will it be if they are given PDM money and the KCCA arrests them? The first thing that should have been done is to basically put in place workspaces, decent workspaces for our people, so that they can be able to work on minimum pressure. Political leaders were put aside on this money, but as a member of parliament, I will have to basically see if there is value for money. Therefore, we have to do the oversight role. But if political leaders had been called upon into the implementation of this program, perhaps they would be there to sensitize the people. You are aware that LC2 level, which is the implementer of this program, has no technical staff. The only technical staff that is available is the part-time, all the parish chief that is on part-time and on contract, some of them. Those are the only people. Each parish has one person, and this person cannot go around the entire parish to sensitize the community. It's unfortunate. You cannot, for example, give one single person the entire Mutungu parish with over 120,000 people to sensitize them for this program. So we needed clear guidelines on how this money is going to be, this project is going to be implemented, and how these people are going to be sensitized. Then also change their mindset. We need quite a number of stakeholders in this to capture data. This has not been done. For example, one works in Nakawa and sleeps in Mutungu, in Wakiso. How are they going to harmonize? If for example, he registers in Wakiso where he stays, and at the same time he registers where he works, how are you going to balance that? So we needed a great team, we needed a good foundation, and we needed clear guidelines on how these funds are going to be implemented.
Well, that's Honorable Ronald Balimwezo MP Nakawa East, of course, on such matters when it comes to leadership and also efficient allocation of resources. But also we need to understand, despite the allocation, there is need to meet the purpose those funds have been meant for. So that is also part of leadership. Well, now away from that, let's cross over and take a look at what's happening. That is, of course, in the press. Of course, taking a look at the new vision here. Yes, taking a look at the new vision here, we see, of course, on the top page, as there is Al-Shabaab new security orders issued. And of course, according to some more insights here, we get to see that UPDF and Somali Army agreed to impose that is curfew, of course, which follows the recent attacks. And quite a number of soldiers actually lost their lives, and quite thousands, and not thousands, but many, hundreds of them who were really actually injured. Something not really good at all when it comes to the forces. Of course, now here we see some aspects still about explain PDM to voters. That is President Yoweri Museveni instructs members of parliament. He tells them please explain the PDM to the voters. In other words, to the people, to the normal people, to the citizens. Let them get to understand what really PDM is all about. Okay, now still here as we get deeper into the new vision. We take a look at small beverage farms on the spot. That is over plastic waste disposal. Plastic waste disposal, something, of course, if we are to, relate to it to the global climate change aspects that are happening, well, we see that there are at least 1,200 beverage companies that is in Uganda. So you can really get more further insights regarding this matter when you get yourself a daily copy of the New Vision. Now, of course, something very sounding quite very interesting. Otherwise, I may say important or interesting. But of course, we see the economy is projected that is to grow at 7% in the next financial year. Of course, Ramadan will be launching the budget month during the press conference. That is at the Uganda Media Center. He made that particular aspect. The economy is going to grow by 7%. Well, let's wait and see whether this can be justifiable. Basing on the surrounding aspects and quite so many disgruntlement that is growing when it comes to how the authorities use the money that is meant for activities that should fund economic growth and development. Now let's wait and take a look at what really comes out of that. Now, government stuck with 195 billion COVID-19 relief funds for the small and intermediary enterprises. Now, of course, although business enterprises are still recovering from the impacts that is of the COVID-19, the Finance Ministry has reported that just a handful have shown interest in government relief programs. Government stuck with. So could I say that the businesses are not coming in for these relief funds? Or maybe there could be some aspect of conflict when it comes to how they should be utilized. Conflict in utilization, well, that is something which can be really looked into. But of course, there have been quite various conferences regarding, SME relief, education, financial literacy, on how best actually these businesses can use the relief fund that is meant for them. I remember some of the aspects that were discussed included, of course, there is that aspect of clearing on loans, but you can still invest this other money and first make some money stabilize, then you pay off the old loans. Because if you use it to pay the old loans, well, it might not have created that benefit that it ought to create for you. So that is government stuck with 195 billion COVID-19 relief funds for the small and intermediary enterprises. Of course, as we go deeper, quite lots of stories that we take a look. Now here we see that airline operators to meet over high cost of transport. Yes, airline operators to meet over high cost of transport. But of course, I'll say that this can be also seen into when it comes to domestic flights, which explains why not so many Ugandans actually use air transport when it comes to using domestic routes, and this probably would have anticipated once this is developed to the maximum, to the full potential. Well, it would be key when it comes to boosting domestic tourism, saving all the long hours. But of course, the transport costs, so that they need to be looked into further. Now here, herbalists to be recognized as indigenous scientists. That is a Dr. Msenero saying that aspect. Well, we shall be getting to see what does this really entail and further, herbalists and, being the connection to being indigenous doctors. How does it really rotate around quickly, and how does it really resonate in many circumstances? Well, that is it for the New Vision this morning. Of course, you can get yourself that copy, and you will take a look at quite many interesting aspects here. Now, heading straight to the Daily Monitor as we take a look at what's really happening here. Of course, we shall be taking a look at the top heading here, which says, Chief Spy warns of new DR Congo war. Oh, wow. Now, of course, we see that Uganda's spy master has placed that is intelligence and security agencies in districts bordering Democratic Republic of Congo on high alert, warning that an outbreak of a war likely to topple, that is one or two governments, is imminent. Well, we shall be taking a look at more of the aspects here. And now still further in relation to Al-Shabaab, of course, they say that we've recovered items looted, of course, by the Al-Shabaab army. What were those items, particular? Well, you'll be finding out more of those details when you get yourself a copy. That is of the New Vision. Now here on the very first, the second page, when we take a look at the national news, of course, what's happening around the Matters Day. We see making of the Matters Day. Of course, people coming in from the different areas here, arriving. Of course, some have made journeys for months. You know, some coming in even all the way from Kenya. You know, coming to Uganda to pay, to have that experience. You know, to be in the place where people who died for their religion were. Of course, quite lots of businesses have positioned themselves for that day to make sure that they can really maximize, because there are lots of people, because it's even told that on Saturday some roads will be blocked. You know, like for example, starting from that route of Nalia, of course they'll be blocked. Of course, what they're trying to prevent is the aspect of congestion, because remember, people are going to be moving around there, so that means very early in the morning, of course, roads are going to be closed. But anyway, it's just a one-day event. It's really worth it. People coming in from all over the world to come and celebrate. That is the Matters Day in Mgongo. Of course, this is what we are seeing here. Of course, businesses attending, positioning themselves, you know, from the Catholic end and the Protestant end. Well, more of that, you'll be getting yourself the more details when you get yourself a copy. That is of the New Vision. Of course, you're still watching Smart Means Business, your daily Kickstarter, and how we we're giving you this information. Now, still here in the national news, we see how new technology for weight loss works. You know, new technology for weight loss. Now, medical doctors in Uganda have introduced the use of balloon, the balloon technology for weight loss. Balloon technology. Wow, that is interesting. Now, the technology dubbed Allurion gastric balloon, which was developed by scientists that is from America's Harvard Medical School, causes weight loss through its ability to tame, that is the overrating in that aspect. Well, we shall be taking a look at how this technology really works. Of course, having more details, you'll get yourself a copy of the New Vision and get to understand that this is something very interesting. You can actually reduce your weight with just a balloon. You'll be check out more of that. And now, of course, here still in the national news in the Daily Monitor, we take a look at the landlord who locks hospital over 1.3 billion Ugandan shillings rent. Yes. Well, that is it. And now let's take a look at what's happening on the traffic with Joram Paulson right there. Good morning, Joram.
If you come to think of it, first of all, and many thanks for joining us when it comes to the traffic updates this morning. And where we're currently at is the former clock tower, but now currently harboring what you would call the Kampala flyover, the center of the Kampala flyover, because by the look of things here, this is where most of the vehicles, especially those that are coming from Entebbe Road, Chibuye, Katwe, and of course those who are coming in from Upper Mengo, and of course heading to the capital. Then on the other side of the queue is for the vehicles that come in from Zambia, the likes of Chibuli, Namuongo, but using the same route to connect to the capital. Now, besides that, there is a lot of what is happening in here in regards to the traffic atmosphere. As you can easily see, what we are briefly bringing to you this morning. And our traffic situation clearly shows to you what is happening. It is a rainy day, and normally it's a very busy kind of situation. This week has been a tight one. Schools reopening. Besides the schools reopening, you get to realize it's the same week when the Uganda Matters Day will be celebrated come this Saturday. So busy mornings like these ones, that, especially when they're highlighted with rainfalls early as you can experience, you'll get to realize a little bit of fact that most people will be really busy in such a time to catch up with their day-to-day duties. But of course, the chaos is prevailing here in regards to what you can easily see. Some of the few things that you can identify is that the traffic officers here are trying to maintain the traffic atmosphere to be a little bit more less tense and a bit more calm. And they are doing this so in order to at least allow easy movement of motorcycles, easy movement of vehicles and the rest. But of course, you definitely have to experience and get to have a feel that since it is a rainy day, it does seem to be a busy one most of the times. But as well, what you can easily see for now is that everyone is just trying to beat the rush hour. And not only during the rush hour, you will easily identify the fact that, well, it is that time when you expect at least that by 8 a.m. it is going to be really tight for those who are actually moving into the capital and those who are actually rushing to their various offices. But as we give you these traffic updates this morning, you always have to make sure that you kickstart off the day with us and you easily get a glimpse of the traffic updates here this morning. I'm definitely going to be taking you back to studio with Andrew and Mercy, who will be taking you through the other details and other business information this morning. It's a cold one. It is a Wednesday. Good to have you watching us wherever you are. It is Smart Means Business. Back to studio with Andrew and Mercy Katsime.
Well, thank you, Joran, for that update. Of course, as you can take a look at what's happening there around the clock tower. Quite a rainy day. As you can take a look at the place is all messed up. Of course, construction taking some time right there. Well, it's 9 minutes past 7 now. Let's get into a short commercial break, and definitely when we return, business insights coming up.